Hello, I'm Dane Fletcher, Youth Ministries Director of the Jamaica Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and we're here to talk about Global Youth Day, reflecting on the exciting experiences of 2024, and then we will close out on what we will do for 2025. With me are folks from West Jamaica Conference. We have Kamala Miller-Bent and we have Annalise Mitchell. Tell us a little bit about yourselves before we get into the meat of Global Youth Day.
Okay. My name is Annalise Mitchell. I am a member of the Little Seventh-day Adventist Church in, you could say St. Elizabeth, but it's really in Manchester.
So you're on the border
I'm
of
on the border
Manchester and St. Elizabeth.
Right. I recently got the opportunity to become camp queen for Stefayuka, our camp that we had last year. And that was, I think, a month after we did Global Youth Day, right. And it was a week before Global Youth Day that I decided to give my life and my devotion to Christ.
That's powerful, Annalise. So you got baptized 1 week before Global Youth Day.
Yep.
And then you decided to jump in it right away.
Head
that
on.
was in March.
Yes.
And then by April, you became camp queen. Seems like you're really engaged in service for the Lord. That's wonderful. And now let's hear a little bit more from Kamala.
Thank you, Pastor Fletcher. I am Kamala Miller-Bent, member of the Bellevue SDA Church in St. Elizabeth. I currently serve as the AY leader. I am also serving as the St. Elizabeth Federation Vice President with responsibility for administration. Youth ministries has always been my passion. It is something I enjoy being a part of, and I continue to look forward to more happening in youth ministries.
All right, so now it would be good, especially for you, Annalise, to tell us what is it that came to your mind when you heard of Global Youth Day, just as you got baptized, happening the week after.
The first thought that came to me was I had to do a lot of walking. And I made sure to bring my friends along with me. I made sure that before we got to, the actual day, I made sure to inform my friends that, hey, we're about to do this. We're about to go into the community. We're about to go on mission field. We're going to pray for people. We're going to invite them to our session that we're going to have in Junction, our marching, our parading, colors. The t-shirts were beautiful last year. And it was just a good experience. I really expected, what happened was what I expected to happen. And I was just blown away.
All right, so you showed up in Junction.
Yes.
It was an awesome experience.
It was.
From what I can recall. And you mentioned that you brought your friends with you. You mean
Yes, I did.
non-Adventist friends?
Non-Adventist friends, and friends who aren't even from a Christian background, or friends who haven't even been to church before. I made sure to bring them with me.
So this is a very powerful testimony as to how it is to really become a disciple of Jesus.
Yes.
So you got baptized a week before Global Youth Day, and then the next week you brought some friends along with you to expose them to some of the joys of being an Adventist youth. That is awesome. Now, Kamala, tell us how it was for you.
Okay, so there are many great memories of Global Youth Day last year. And one of the things I would have looked at since the inception of Global Youth Day in 2013, we have noted that it only gets bigger and better. And so for last year, the theme was showing up in the cities, and the West Jamaica Conference was very much intentional in ensuring that we showed up. So Westmoreland was showing up, Hanover showed up, St. James did the same. And for us in St. Elizabeth, we showed up in 3 major towns. It was very exciting to see the youth paving the streets in those towns. Now, as it relates to last year in terms of our program format, for the morning segment, we would have gathered in our individual churches for devotion, and then we took to the streets. We were in the communities in terms of act of kindness. We shared gift packages. We shared the word with people. We had our prayer groups out. And so we had a structured program where we not just walked in the community, we ensured that we made a list of those persons who had a need, and we sought to fill those gaps where we saw them. And so for me, Global Youth Day is just a thing that has come about to ensure that young people are out there impacting the communities. It has shown us over time that it's not just about having mission being done within the four walls, but going out into the community, interacting with people, and making a difference.
Yeah, you really highlighted some of the major activities in West
Yes.
Jamaica Conference, because while it was about showing up in the cities, I know that you had at least 4 major sites in West Jamaica Conference.
Yes.
And I can recall that it was a road blocking experience in Sam Sharp Square. So,
Yes.
so lots of you, thousands of young people from across West Jamaica Conference
Yes.
were actively engaged for Global Youth Day,
Yes.
even as we connected not just from West Jamaica Conference, but across the Jamaica Union Conference with young people around the world.
Yes.
Now, I heard you said, Annalise, that you invited your friends, your non-Adventist friends.
Yes.
Tell us what it was like to get persons who aren't even churched to join for Global Youth Day.
Well, it was a bit of a struggle because I started going to church with my grandmother from a very tender age, and I took a minute to focus on school because I thought at the time that focusing more on school and pushing church to the side was the right decision to do. Turns out it wasn't. I came back to church, and leading up to the week of my baptism and then the week of Global Youth Day, I decided to make a change. I decided to preach unto somebody else who might be in the same position that I was in back then. So I went to my friends and I said, hey, we're having Global Youth Day on Sabbath, and we're going to be in Junction. It's going to be fun. It's going to be filled with marching and parading and colors. And at first they were hesitant, but eventually I got them on board, and it was just amazing.
Awesome. So you said that you decided to put the church thing on hold
Yeah.
and focus on school, but
Yeah.
along the way you realized that it's best to prioritize your
Yes.
relationship with Jesus.
Yes,
And
definitely.
then you did what you were inspired to do in making this meaningful commitment of a total surrender to Jesus.
Yes.
And it seems somehow that you are excited about
I definitely
sharing the
am.
joys with your friends, that you want them to come and experience what you are experiencing with Jesus too. So you shared how it was to motivate your friends who are not Adventist. How was it for you, Kamala, to encourage our Adventist young people to participate in Global Youth Day, showing up in the cities?
Okay, so when we learned of the action plan that was in place for Global Youth Day, we actually hit the ground running. And so we were very much mindful that this is a new federation that was formed in St. Elizabeth. We had the work to do, and so we started the promotions early. We had the flyers out all over social media telling persons what to expect. So for Global Youth Day, this is what the lineup will be. We'll have the marching band. We'll be out in the communities. And I can tell you, even the uniformed appearance made a big difference. So we were out in our Global Youth Day shirts, and persons were just excited to be a part. Now, what I can recall, while we were in Junction, we saw persons putting away their items they had on sale to join the session we were having. Persons coming out of the stores, guys in the barber shop, they came out on the corridors, and everybody was just into this initiative. And one of the things I can tell you, Pastor, we would have seen the effects of the impact over time, because in St. Elizabeth, for example, we would have seen more of our youth accepting Christ, and persons just want to be a part of this movement. I know that when we are in church, we will be doing the teaching, we'll be having our in-house exercises. But what I do know is that we have seen that where our youth showing up for Jesus, they're showing up for Bible class, they are more so wanting to show up in the community communities. And I think once we are able to do this, we are on the right path to ensure that the mission is fulfilled. And so when we reached out to them, persons who are not a part, this is where the question started. When they saw us out there, how can I be a part of the Pathfinder Club, for example? Because we had groups that were on parade. We had the marching band. How can I sign up to be a member of the marching band? And so we would have seen the interest through this initiative. And trust me, we do embrace it, and we are just eager for more to come as it relates to Global Youth Day and the impacts.
So as we engage in Global Youth Day, it is essential to note that it is an opportunity to connect with the community, to help other young persons to know what we're doing in the
Yes.
Seventh-day Adventist Church, and also to help them to know too that they can be involved.
Yes.
It has been my pleasure thus far talking with Kamala Miller Bent and Annalise Mitchell of West Jamaica Conference, sharing the joys of participating in Global Youth Day 2024. We'll now take a break, and when we return, we will talk about the exciting activities of Global Youth Day for 2025.
Creativity has a mission. Vision has a purpose. Creative Disciples, are you ready to bring yours to life? The Jamaica Union Conference, in collaboration with Hope Channel Inter-America, invites you to a film festival like no other. Saturday, May 10, West Jamaica Conference, 3 p.m. Step into the spotlight and showcase your talent in music and animation, short film and mobile films, public service announcements and commercials. The time is running out. The application deadline is March 15, 2025. This is a movement, recapturing the spirit of the mission. Who will emerge the winner? Your story begins now.
Welcome back. I'm Dane Fletcher, Youth Ministries Director of the Jamaica Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and I'm talking with Kamala Miller Bent and Annalise Mitchell of West Jamaica Conference. Earlier, we spoke about the exciting activities of Global Youth Day 2024, and now we're going to talk about what will be happening or the activities of Global Youth Day on 2025. So tell us, what came to your mind when you heard the theme for Global Youth Day 2025, a community transformed?
Well, the first thing that came to mind when I heard of the theme was my own community and how little Christianity is observed, or how little they include God into their lifestyle. So I thought maybe this time around I can get them to, take part more. Maybe I can get them to connect with God more. Maybe I can even get them to come to church with me on Sabbath. That was the first thing that came to me when I heard of the theme. I thought of my community.
So you thought about spiritual transformation
Yes.
for your community. How about you, Kamala?
Thank you, Pastor. I believe that the theme for this year that creates the acronym ACT is a well thought of theme, a community transformed. When I looked at the theme, one of the first things that came to mind is the opportunity to have our young people going out in the community to be the agents of change. Because you see, Pastor, we have to get to that point where we have our young people creating that path for transformation. We would have seen over time, we're in a country where moral decay is on the rise. And whatever it is that we need to do as a church, we have to put that in place to make the difference as it relates to transformation. And so when we look at our community and what is happening now, there are people who need to hear more about Christ. So we need to be out there sharing the word with them. We want to ensure that we are having the Bible studies. We are showing up to pray with people. We are showing up to share the love. Just offer some amount of care so this community can know that this is what we are about as Seventh-day Adventists and as youth of the church.
All right, thank you very much. So initially you thought about spiritual transformation. Is there any social transformation that you thought about when you consider your community being transformed? Or maybe I should ask, what does a community transformed looks like for you?
Well, to me, a community transformed looks like people being together, togetherness. Togetherness in Christ, togetherness in spirit, togetherness in truth. You know, reading the Bible more and communicating with people who need to hear the word of God. That's what came to me.
All right. So you see a community transformed within the context of people experiencing the power of God in their personal lives, and not
Yes.
just persons talking about what godliness is, but for them to literally experience the change that the power of the Holy Spirit can bring.
Yes, sir. So we're actually looking at it in a holistic approach. So we're looking at a community that embodies Christ. So over time, you want to see people accepting Christ, making that change, making the difference. And that's what it means to me, a community transformed.
All right. So it's mainly for you. So the ultimate transformation that you want persons to experience is to have a renewed experience
Yes.
with Jesus.
Yes, definitely.
Now, while we anticipate that kind of transformation, is there anything that we can physically experience in our communities for transformation? For example, peacefulness, or again, example,
Yes,
beautification.
creating unity among community members and ways to impact the community. So some of the things we can find ourselves doing would be to do outreach activities within the community. Like one of the plans we have coming up shortly in terms of projects for youth ministries, we can go out and redo pedestrian crossings. We can help a brother to paint a house. Right now, there is a project going on where we found a community member who would have lost her home during the burial. Right. So she's now benefiting from a one-room structure being built, and that's a start. We want the community to know that we care, and these are things we can do to assist them. So outreach is one of the big things in youth ministry.
So a community transformed will see persons being more caring
Yes.
one for the other,
Yes.
attentive to the needs
Of-
of others,
Yes.
and helping persons to live a better quality of life.
Definitely.
Yes.
Sir.
How about you, Annalise?
Well, physically, I see, well, my church has always been a church that likes to go out into the community. And, you know, we have this bond together, especially amongst the youth and myself. We make sure that whenever we do go out, let's say on a mission field, we make sure that we visit people. Even if you're walking on the street, we're going to stop you, we're going to talk to you, we're going to include you. Even if we know that a member of our church is sick, as just last week we had a member who had recently got a stroke, and we went to visit her and we went to pray for her. That's one of the key moments that I really treasure when we go out into the field and we communicate with people who need our help.
Awesome. So a community transformed is more akin to persons looking at how they can improve the lives of others.
Yes.
Yes.
The truth of the matter is that if I help my neighbor to be in a better position, it ultimately will redound to me being in a better position. Because
Yes.
if my neighbor was poor and then my neighbor becomes rich, and my other neighbor was poor and then that neighbor becomes rich,
Yes.
I will be a richer person.
Right.
That so
And it
it,
speaks also, Pastor, to servant leadership. The service that we give enhances our spiritual lives and those of the community as well.
awesome. So what are some of the buzzing plans that you have or activities for Global Youth Day 2025?
Well, I am a part of a singing group. I love to sing. Every chance I take, every chance I get, I will be singing. So during this coming Sabbath activities, we'll be parading in the town of the city of Junction. We'll be having our guest speaker. I think it's Pastor Anderson will be our speaker for the event, and we'll be having Singspiration. So members from different churches will be singing, sharing the gospel, and it will be something mind-blowing.
All right, so you're talking about what you'll be doing.
Yes.
Coming together in the afternoon. Do we have any other activities of making a positive impact? Social outreach for the morning, or in a wider space of West Jamaica Conference?
Yes, we do, Pastor. And so again, West Jamaica Conference they would have given us the action plan, and so the parishes have embraced it. And what you'll find happening in St. James this year, they will be doing their impact in districts.
Mm-hmm.
Hanover will be doing district and zone impacts as well. And for Westmoreland, the format is similar. Now, coming over to St. Elizabeth, we have two main town impacts, as well as a district impact. One of the things we are mindful of, some areas we are preparing for campaigns, and so these are considered targeted areas. So right now in Santa Cruz, Pastor Kimoy Allen is involved in a campaign, and so Santa Cruz automatically becomes one of the towns that will be impacted. Over in Lacovia, we are planning a campaign. It's going to be a youth campaign that will be coming up, and so we want to be right there on the ground with those persons in the community, Slipe and those adjoining districts, and so that will be a district impact coming back over to Junction, where we will have the Southfield District, Littis District, Bull Savannah, and Williamsfield coming together. We plan to create an impact there, and it's just amazing to be looking forward to this again. One of the things I want to mention, as an individual church, we are putting plans in place to impact our immediate surroundings, and so we are going out there to share. One of the things we have done in terms of the program format, we have structured prayer sessions. We have done the needs assessment, and we are looking at impacting persons who have specific needs, and we will be just out there saturating the communities and ensuring that the impact is created. If I should backtrack a bit, Pastor, last year, I would want to think that Global Youth Day is what created the tone for our Easter camp. And in St. Elizabeth, I want to tell you, our camp theme was going for more in 2024, and we actually went for more. We had over 400 campers showing up at Magati High School. This was mind-blowing. It was epic. Camp was grand. We have baptism. 2 candidates came, gave their lives to God. And this year again, we believe that Global Youth Day 2025 is going to help us to keep mission alive. And so we are looking forward to another grand experience. And from that, we know that the numbers again for Easter camp is going to be blowing.
So you use Global Youth Day to revitalize the energies of our
it was rightly placed, and it is positioned, and we are benefiting from it.
That's awesome. It speaks about the ripple effects of young people being involved.
That's what it is.
That it really can realize other young people being inspired to participate in the church activities.
Yes.
And you shared a comprehensive view as to what will happen for West Jamaica Conference at the district level, at the parish level,
the federation involvement.
Yes. So you have shared a lot as to what will be happening. Now, what word will you share with our young people who need a little bit of nudge or a little motivation? So we are just about to close out. What's your final word for youth who really needs to be inspired or encouraged to participate?
Well, my final words to the youth would have to be, don't listen to negativity. Don't let, I would say, other people stop you from doing what you feel is right. Don't let your negative thoughts tell you that, oh, you're not ready to do this, you're not ready to do that. Do it. Follow your gut. Go to church. Bring your friends with you. Read the Bible more. If it's communicating with God through music, or if it's communicating with God through singing, doesn't matter how you do it. Put God first, and everything will be possible.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm loving it, Pastor. And one of the things I want to say to the young people out there, with such an army of youth rightly trained, we can go out and ensure that the mission is complete. We are going for more, and we want to keep mission alive in 2025. So the invitation is there. Come out and be a part of this weekend's epic event, Global Youth Day. It promises to be great. You'll find your space at any site. Just reach out to us. As a matter of fact, the shirts are lovely this year. We have a few left, so hit us up. We are going for more, sir.
Thank you very much, Kamala. Thank you very much,
You're
Annalise.
welcome.
So yes, I've been talking with Kamala Miller-Bent and Annalise Mitchell of West Jamaica Conference as we discussed Global Youth Day, what happened in 2024, and what is happening for Global Youth Day 2025. It's been a thrilling experience. There's a lot of work to be done in our communities to make life better for our brothers and our sisters, especially those who are not of our faith. Let us do the best that we can to make a lasting impact for Jesus, for a community transformed. Act now to bring glory and honor to God for the building of His kingdom. I look forward to the exciting report of Global Youth Day 2025. God bless you.